Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. This is a live stream broadcast from California. I'm on the west coast of California. I'm using YouTube to do my live cast, and the application I'm using is StreamYard. And it's a warm welcome to all you out there experiencing difficulties with what is called the child protection systems. That's all the entities out there, because all the entities will have different names. Just in California, you have the Orange County, which is the one I was in. It's called the Child Protection Services. Next door, LA County, is called the Department of Children and Family Services. In Prescott, Arizona, it's called the Department of Children's Services. And in Richmond, Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. So instead of saying all the names, I just called the Child Protection System. So I'm talking about the Child Protection System. It's a system that was came about with Congress mandating that our children be protected from neglect and abuse. So they directed social services to create a child protection system to protect our children through mandated reporters, which are the professionals, and the laypersons. And what's happened is a lot of the CPS have gone rogue. I mean, they've learned how much money is you can make at this. Some of them are going $1 trillion business. $1 trillion business. I know in my case in Orange County, each of my 3 children that were trafficked into foster care, they were not getting, but the county, the Orange County Child Protection System was getting $20,000 per child per month. That was $60,000. And believe me, it didn't take $60,000 to put them in a foster care family or in a shelter or a group home. So I knew from the start that I was in serious trouble when I got involved in CPS. All you guys got to recognize that. There's ways that you can prevent, get you outside of the big mess. Now, it's been a long day. I know most of you are tired and you may not want to talk about CPS, but I'm here to help you. If you have a case and you want to do something about this, you can text me, and I'll put the message up there on the board. You can text me a message, either a comment or a question about CPS. All I ask is you show your first name, and then you show the city or the county and the state your case is in. Now, if you're from another country, I have 21 countries that so far have called in your country. Also, try to tell as much as you can about your case. Now, if you're on the live stream as a guest, my show producer, her name is Grace, will contact you once you write her an email expressing what days and times you want to be on. Now, my show times are 7 days a week. On the weekdays, it's 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. In the evening, it's 7 o'clock. And on the weekends, I come on early at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I've been doing this for 17 months, since October 2023. I've not missed a date yet. I've even worked on New Year's and Christmas Day and Eve and so forth. Work all the holidays, so I don't have any holidays. Now, if you want to be a guest on my podcast, all you have to do is write in an email. I have a show producer, Grace. She's really good at what she does. And you send in a request, one of my 14 live streams, and say, I want to be a Bob's Saturday morning live stream, or I want to be a Bob's Friday night live stream. Whatever the time, the date, that's all you have to tell her. She'll take care of the rest. She'll give you a link to get on StreamYard, and you'll be able to be as our guest there. I can take up to 9 of you. 9 of you. I have space for 9. With me makes it 10. So that's a lot of people. I never had 10 people at once. The most I've had is 3. With me makes 4. Now, she will tell you what you can say and not say on the show, and things like you don't say out the names of children or the social workers, etc. And you don't eat on the live stream. You do not eat. Okay. We got. Well, I thought we had someone calling in there. I guess not. Let me see what my show producer wanted to tell me. Let me see here. Okay. I think all she does is that she is very concerned for me. She's really sweet, and she checks in on me. And I thank you, Grace. So I've told you about how to text questions. I told you how to be a guest. And lastly, if you want to call in, my number is available at 626-698-0990. That's 626-698-0990. And I'd love to have you on my my live stream. Also, if you call in or you're on my live stream, you'll qualify for a free 15-minute private consultation with my attorney, Vincent Davis. I wear contacts, so I have to flush my eyes out all the time. Usually when I close my eyes, but then everybody thinks I'm sleeping, and so I put my eye drops in to help keep my eyes from drying up. Now, I've told you about the 4 ways to interact in this live stream. One is just by being in this room. I'm glad you did. You can do emojis, smiley faces, thumbs up, or hearts. You can send me stars. Also, please check the follow button so you can follow me. And then also, if you want to be notified, check the notification button. Now, I really embrace about you all participating in my live stream. It makes the live stream go better and to talk. If somebody is asking me questions or on the show talking, it's really hard when no one's talking. It's very, very, very quiet. It's a long day. It's a long day. Now, this child protection system that I call, you have to be careful of them. And one of the first rules I had made was that you need to get an attorney. And the reason why you need an attorney is you need a skilled professional to help you navigate and fight CPS. Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. If you're going to have work done on your heart, are you going to cut open your chest cavity and pull your heart out and try to work on it? No, you're not. You get a professional doctor who went to medical school and passed the exam and has license, gone through internship and mentoring with somebody before he does that critical surgery. So I'm telling you, please get yourself an attorney. You'll not be able to fight. And if some of you thinking that maybe I'll use the court-appointed attorney, that necessarily won't work. The court-appointed attorney or public defenders is usually beginner lawyers. They're only in school in the area of criminal. This is not a criminal case. This is a juvenile law, family law, and dependency law matter. That's what this is all about. Now, I've come up with 5 rules that will help you. One of them is to get an attorney. And I cannot emphasize how important that is. And I do have an attorney I work for. He's Vincent W. Davis. He has a lot for this podcast. He has podcasts himself. Today he was live at 10:30, questions and answers. And he'll talk to you. And if you can't afford him, you can retain him. He works anywhere. He works anywhere. Now, getting an attorney is a hard thing to do. And so what you need to do is you need to find some attorneys. Now, I have one here, Vincent W. Davis. That's one, but you need 2 more. You should always get quote from 3 attorneys, before you hire them. It's a lot of money you're going to give them. You want to make sure they're fully qualified and they can fully perform their duties. I've had some of you call back and says, well, my attorney, I paid for him, but he doesn't do anything. Well, I find out he's just a criminal attorney. He's not going to do very much. This is not a criminal matter. This is a juvenile law matter, a family law matter, and a dependency law matter. Now, before you start locating an attorney, you have to know how to locate one. And it's very important if you go on the internet to do research that you phrase your question correctly. My rule number 4 talks about researching the internet for 60 hours or more. You need to research the internet. And the way the format you should start off with first the city, then the state, then you put your CPS letters in there. Now we'll pull up all the stuff that's in that city and state that you listed. And I'm thinking there, Grace, about how hard it is to get that attorney. So when you research it on the internet, if it's a small city, you use a big city like Athens, Georgia. You put Athens, Atlanta, Georgia, then CPS. Then you put down a juvenile law, family law, dependency attorney. And then that way, that attorney will pop up. And all you need is 2 more because you got Vincent Davis. He already meets all the requirements. Now, there's 2 important questions you need to call. You need to tell them. First question is, excuse me a second, this is Faye's trying to communicate with Grace is. Excuse me 1 minute, a group. Okay. So when you call in, you got your list of attorneys. You want to ask these 2 important questions. The first question is to phrase your question so that the attorney will answer it. So what you want to say, are you a professional licensed attorney in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, and have you fought CPS and gotten children back? If the answer to that question is yes, you should go to the next question. The next question is, when the case ends, have you sued CPS either in federal court or state court, a civil lawsuit, and won money back? If the answer to that question is yes, then you've located. Excuse me a second. Hold on a second, please. So you I've lost my train of thought. It's very hard when I'm interrupted. It's hard enough to do the podcast. I mean the live stream. Now, with those attorneys, you need at least 3 of them. You know that Vincent's one of them. You're going to contact them, and you're going to see that they have references. So they know how they perform, and then you ask them about the retainer. It's so important to have an attorney. If you don't have an attorney, you end up losing your case because it's scary out there. The CPS workers are not transparent. They're not on your side, and a lot of them are corrupt. Now, not all CPS systems are bad. Not all of them are. And so when you find out that the attorneys answered that question, we got another horn here. I'm getting all kinds of noises tonight. Then you got the right attorney. So then you call them up and you get the references and talk to them. Now, with Vincent Davis, there's several ways you can talk to him. Right now, I told you if you're a guest on my live stream or you call in, you're eligible for a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. And he will talk to you privately. All you have to do is be a guest on my podcast or call in. And I'll ask you and I'll tell you how you can do that, how you can arrange that. Now, another way is on the bottom of my screen, there's a ticket running. It's a website. And for just $60, Vincent will talk to you for up to 30 minutes. And you go to that website, you use your credit card, reserve your time, and he'll talk to you. It's really, really important that he does talk to you. And that's 60 minutes, $60 for 30 minutes. So there's that way. And then also you can call in the office at 888-888-6582. That's the law office of Vincent W. Davis. There you can get other attorneys like real estate law, divorce law, criminal law, etc. He has attorneys for all your needs. Also, the office has guides. And one of the newest guides out now is a grandparent's guide of the steps of how to get guardianship of your grandchildren. It's a really excellent guide. It's $9.99, but if you use my discount code of PACE50, that's capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, PACE50, you can get that publication. There's other publications, How to Fight CPS, etc. So there's a wealth of information you can get at your fingertips. Now, I have people come on here. I have about 50 family members that come on here regularly. And sometimes they come in spurts and sometimes they don't. Now, we have Royal Money. Now, you're on this morning, Royal, and you've been on before. I forgot where you're from, Royal. And I'm all right. Thank you for asking. That's really considerate of you to ask how I'm doing. So, Roy, where are you from and what is your question? Where are you from and what is your question? Now, well, Royal thinking of a question and tell me where she's from. Let me move on to the second rule of how to fight CPS. First rule was to get an attorney. Now that you got yourself an attorney, your second rule is how to document everything. It's very important that you get a notebook, a 3-ring binder that's 3 inches thick, and you put all your important documents in there, and you organize in such a way you can find things. Like you're going to get certificates from classes you take. They can be in there. There's programs you take. You can get the certificates from programs. Also, there's a very important document. It's a timeline document. And it's about incidents. Incidents are anything that happens between you and a social worker, a CPS, or a policeman, or a school teacher of the school district. Those incidents is what happens, and you want to write them down as factually as you can. And you usually want to devote 3 lines to those incidents. Line number 1 is the date, the time, the location, and what family members are involved. What members are involved there. Now, these documents have to maintain for your case because you're not going to remember things 6 months later. Now, the incident thing, your second line, your first line, you put the phone number, the location, the people you talked to, the date and time, etc. The second line is a summary of what the incident was about. And then the third line is the outcome of the incident. And you may not know that right away, so that's left blank for a while before it's filled out. Let's see what Maria says here. Royal money. I've been here a lot in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right. You're right. I keep forgetting. You said you would help me if I call you, but your number, I couldn't figure out how to get through to talk to you. Well, there's the number. It's on the screen. And if you're calling from a landline, you need to put 1 in front of the number. If you're calling from a cell phone, it's 626-698-0990. I love to have you. Now, if you're having trouble, you can text me at that number, 626-698-0990, and then I will call you. That way you get connected. Because I would like to help you, Roll Money. Okay, Roll Money says, what are the legal way that CPS can or steps remove your child from your care? Well, here's what CPS is normally supposed to do. It may not be the same way that you're happy. When CPS hears from a mandated reporter, a professional, like a fireman, a policeman, a teacher, or hears from a layperson, they're supposed to investigate within 24 hours. So they'll send out a social worker to investigate your case. Now, a lot of times people don't answer the door, don't talk to them, which is true. You should have your attorney there. So they will try to investigate. But then they have alternative motives because they want to make some money. So they'll make up a story and take your child. They'll say, we need to take your child. Now, a child should only be taken if they're in danger. And if they're in danger. And if they're not in danger, they should not take the child because it should be the best parents or the biological parents. And that's for reunification if they need to break a family apart. So you got to hold fast. And they do not take your children. You should not let them take your children. They have to have what's called a court warrant. Yes, please call or text me. If you're using your mobile phone, it's 626-698-0990. Now, if you're calling from a landline, you need to put the 1 in there. 1-626-698-0990. It's really important that you do so. And I know my phone works because right now Grace has already called me 3 times tonight. So my phone's rung 3 times with her. But I want to help you, Royal, on your case. And so if you can phrase your questions better, I will try to help you. Royal is from Nevada, and she's from Las Vegas, Nevada. And she has an open CPS case there, too. So now we've talked about finding an attorney, rule number 1. Rule number 2 is your documentation. And don't forget to get subject dividers to divide everything up accordingly. Don't forget to do that. Now, rule number 3 is you do not let the social workers into the home or talk to them. You don't let them in the home or talk to them. Now, Roy says, okay, what if they never had a reason to take her? They took her overnight, never even met with the workers or spoke to her. I was just told I couldn't get my kid back by my mom, and now she's been out of my home. Well, I don't know who gave up the child because they can't take the child unless they got a court order or you gave permission. Now, did your mom let your child go? Is that what happened? Did your mom let your child go? If that's what's happened. Because the CPS can only take a child if they're in extreme danger. Now, my children, they said they had to take my children into foster care. I said, why? They're in danger. Well, they weren't in danger. That was a ruse that the Orange County Child Protection Services used. And it was sad. It was really sad. They love to lie their way through there and tell them they have the authority. They don't. They don't have the authority. But you got to really know the laws and have an attorney that'll back you up. Now, on rule number 3, since we're talking about that, a social worker will come out within 24 hours and investigate your home. You don't want to let them in because they will find something wrong with your home. You need to have your attorney present. And the easiest to do it is when they come knock at the door, don't answer the door. And then after a period of time, you can check to see if they left something outside. If they did, then you're going to have to respond to it. Also, that should be a wake-up call that you need to get an attorney, by rule number 1. Now, be quiet when they knock on the door. Don't say anything. Too many people have been killed opening the door. That's why I tell you don't answer the door. You never know what lies beside the other side of that door. Now, with family, friends, or your kids, you can give a special signal to let you in the house, like a fast ringing of the doorbell or repeated knocks. My young son does that all the time now. Now, there's something that may happen while you're outside your home. If you encountered social workers or police, don't talk to them Be pleasant to them. Tell them if it's a legal matter that you need to have your attorney present because you need to be represented through all facets of the legal charges. And so you can say there's a timeout, get their name and number, and then meet with your attorney and then have them meet with you. Try not to have meeting places at their office or, you know. Now, there's something also called medical trafficking, and you got to be careful about medical trafficking. Medical trafficking is where your child is really sick, has a high fever, or throwing up or something, and you want to take them to urgent care or the emergency room at the hospital. That's a good thing to do that. But be careful that your social service workers are hanging out at those hospitals or the urgent care center. Will try to intervene and take your child away from you. So do not give up your child there. Do not. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to the other part of medical trafficking. And trafficking is now the when you're going to be pregnant and your mother and you go to the hospital and have your child and in walks the social service and the policeman. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong to do that. They have no right to take your child. So keep that in mind. Now, Royal Money from Las Vegas, Nevada, have you tried to text me or call me? Let me check to see if you have texted me or called me. Okay. Let me see here. No, I do not have a call from you, Royal Money, or a text message. Please call or text me. Now, does anybody have any questions? Because I know my rules are kind of boring. Well, okay, you say the call won't go through. I know that my show producer has texted me and it does work. I don't know your number. I would call you. I cannot understand. Let me double check again. Oh, boy. Okay, my Wi-Fi is connected and the phone is connected. I use Vonage as my internet application, and it should come through. I don't know why it's not. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Good evening. And who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
This is Royal.
Oh, hi, Royal. It worked. How did you get it to make it work?
I tried a different phone. I tried my roommate's phone.
Oh, that's weird. Do you know maybe your phone blocks it? I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Well, it's a pleasure to finally talk to you, Royal. So, what are your questions? What can I do to help you?
As well as it is, I'm going to get talk to you as well, Bob. So my questions are basically, I needed to know, since I'm already in my of rights hearing coming up on Monday, no attorney will help me or take my case because they say it's too late and that there's nothing they can do.
Well, so you can ask for a continuance if your attorneys are not ready. You can ask for a continuance. If you have a good reason to show cause, you tell the court, I need a continuance because my attorney can't be here on such and such a date.
Okay. And I would definitely do that. Does my court is on Monday, so do I call them or do I just go in and do it right then and there because it's on Monday at 11?
Well, you can approach the bench if your attorney's not in court. You can say, I'm having trouble with my attorney. He isn't here. I request a continuance so I have my attorney present.
Okay, but what if my attorney is a court-appointed attorney?
Well, you ask him, if you're going to represent me, you need to fight for my case. If you don't, I'll sue you and I'll report you to the State Bar of Nevada. That's what they'll do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's not talking to me right now. I've been trying to get in contact with her and see if we can schedule a meeting, and she said that she's not going to work with me. I guess I don't know why.
Well, then you need to replace her.
I'm frustrated. I'm just really frustrated.
I know.
With, everything.
Well, you need to replace her.
Everything. Okay. How do I do that? Do I just
well,
go ahead and call the attorney
in the courtroom courtroom they open up at 8:00, and your court case won't start
right.
to 9. Okay, so at 8:00 you go to the public defender's office. It's where they have the court appointed.
Okay.
There's a thing called the public defender's office, and tell them I have a very important case. My attorney that was appointed to me will not perform. I need a new attorney. Then you go into court at your court time, which I think is at probably 9:00, and you ask for a continuance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Now one thing. Now I was writing you about how basically what is the legal way for them to remove a child from my care? Because what I was saying was, what had happened was my friend, he is my daughter's godfather, and he was watching my daughter for me while I went to work. But I only worked about 6 hours, got off early, came back, and I guess he was trying to get in the shower, so he contacted my parents to see if they can come go or grab her for my daughter for a few hours. And while he got in the shower and stuff and handled something else, and so I got off of work. Now, when he did that, I already made it back to the house. I already been here, fed my daughter, played with her for a second, and by the time I made it home, and he was telling me about this, that he reached out to them. Next thing I know, my father walks into the house and was like, "Oh, well, Joe called us to come get her, so we were going to come get her." And she was going to just come stay the night with Gigi and me. I was like, okay. And that's Grandma and Grandpa, Gigi and Big G. So when the night that she was going to stay the night, I said, well, that's fine. She can still stay the night with you guys if you guys would like that.
Okay.
I'll just call you in the morning on what time you guys want me to come get her. I literally woke up trying to call them to see what time they would expect me to come get her. And next thing I know, my mom is telling me CPS just left their house and that they told her that my daughter must remain in their care.
Well,
and
okay.
After that, I have not had my daughter. I have not seen my daughter. And then the next day, a day following after that, is when I had court for them to leave my daughter in my parents' care for whatever reason. But I've never seen this caseworker. I've never talked to this caseworker until literally he called me out the blue and told me that I have court this day.
Well,
and then I was like, okay. So then I went to court the very next day, and they're telling me they're going to keep my kid in my mom's custody for whatever reason. And I'm just I was in a daze on confusion on what is happening right now, because I don't even know. The caseworker never met with me, never seen my home. He's never talked to me besides letting me know the court date that was coming up, which was literally the next following day. And no one has explained to me who's told or called CPS. They're not telling me. They say it's anonymous. And I said why. They won't tell me. They said for neglect and abandonment. But I'm like, neglect and abandonment? I never neglected my daughter. I left her for the same amount of time that a person goes to work for, about less than 8 hours. And then I let her stay the night at her grandmother's house. So
who is the responsible adult that had your daughter?
My best friend. He's actually been my friend, and it's family to me and my daughter. He's been there since I gave birth. He was there at the hospital.
Is he over the age of 18? Is he over the age of 18? Okay. So a family member was watching your daughter while you went off to work. Now, what about other days you go off to work? Who watches your daughters on the other days you go to work?
other day, she goes to daycare. She was going to a daycare called Kinder Care.
Oh,
But,
okay.
I was about to pull her from Kinder Care. Okay. I was going to pull her from Kinder Care because her school had called CPS on me one time before because my daughter had a bruise on her eye, but my daughter has ADHD and she runs around, hit her face on the arm of the couch. And I told them immediately as soon as I brought her into school.
Okay.
And remind you, this is a school that given me incident reports of my daughter busting her lip 3 times, her hair being cut by scissors, and comes home with bruises all the time. And I never said anything. I just took the incident reports as my kid. She runs around. She's fearless.
Yeah.
So like I just took it as that. Like yeah, she does that at home kind of.
Okay.
So then next thing I know, I bring her into school one day with one little bruise on her face from her hitting her face from running into my couch. They literally called CPS on me. That case was closed out in a week. The caseworker said she didn't see anything wrong with my home. She was going to go ahead and talk to her supervisor to close out my case. I said, cool. Now, almost like 7-8 months later, out of nowhere, this is happening out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. My mom has my daughter. She's had my daughter for the last 2 years. I don't know what else to do.
Well, does your mother want to work with you? Does your mother want to work with you? Does your mother want your child to be with you?
I can't even tell you because I'm having mixed feelings about that whole entire thing. Everyone else says from what they see, they don't think that my mom's on my side. And my mom swears she's on my side, but she doesn't let me see my kid. Even when visitations are literally up to her now because she doesn't have the energy. She's too tired sometimes. So I see my kid a total of 6 hours a month.
Wow.
That's it. A month. You know what I mean? So and it's killing me inside because my daughter begs me to Mommy, can I come home? And I'm just I don't know how to keep doing this. And I'm jumped in their circles of running their case plans. I've been trying to get their reunification done. I've completed my substance abuse classes. I almost completed my parenting project class.
Mm-hmm.
They told me to get a job. I had got a job, showed pay stubs, and that wasn't good enough.
Okay.
And now I still don't have a place. And then they don't want to put me on the housing, nothing. I just don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Well, what is your court-appointed attorney doing?
Well, I've had 2 different ones, and the last one, she said that she was going to drop me and transfer me over to the one I have now. And so the one I have now, she literally is basically, they terminated my daughter's father's right on last Monday, basically. And the judge gave me another court-appointed attorney, which was the one I have now. And she said that coming on the 3rd and to discuss on what permanent fees that we're going to be doing for my daughter. And I tried to talk to my attorney, and she emailed me and said that she wouldn't be taking my case.
Oh.
And that she'll let the judge know.
Well, then you need to have it replaced. By law, it's your constitutional rights that you have an attorney represent you. And so you need to go to the court-appointed attorney's office in the courtroom. The courtroom, they'll have where the clerk is. It's a room that's set aside for court-appointed attorneys. You need to speak to a supervisor. Tell them your court-appointed attorney isn't helping you. And you need to have one ready because you have a case coming up that you need to have the attorney represent you. Is that making sense to you?
Bob, I listen to you every night, just so you know, and every morning, and I honestly appreciate all you guys' help and everyone that joins your show. You guys are, thank you.
Well, we thank you for being a loving mother for wanting your child. Too many children lose their.
Yeah, and I find that really hard. That's hard. How do they do this to people who want to be parents? Though that doesn't make sense. And
they do it for money. They do it for money. You see, it's $1 trillion business. They get money. That's why your mom probably did it, because she's probably getting money for having your children.
That's crazy.
They get assistance.
It's mind blowing to me to think of it that way, because I'm just
yeah, I know.
You guys say it's in the best interest of the child, but you're hurting my child and me, physically, mentally, all that. My kid is suffering without me. She tells me all the time, I don't want to be at GG's. I want to come home. And we come home, and I come home, and I'm just then I just break down, and I try not to cry in front of my daughter because I hate her seeing me like that. But it's just so hard to know that I feel so helpless. I feel so useless. I can't do much. I can't tell my own kid, yes, you can come home with mommy today.
Oh boy.
like that hurt. And my mom doesn't care. She don't care. She just like, Ariel, stop trying to make it harder.
Well, I think your mom,
like upset and cry.
Yeah, I think your mom is trying to work against you.
Yeah, that's what my gut feeling says, and it's just like it so sucks because I felt so hopeless for the last 2 years. And I just found out about you guys, by the way, and attorney Vincent Davis, like for the last probably 2 months I've been watching you guys. I wish I would have known about you guys in the beginning of my case, because then like a lot of that would have saved me from like putting my own foot in my mouth and like ruining a lot of things that like. I wish I would have known more so that this caseworker is really not on my side like they claim to be.
No, they're very disillusional. They'll take advantage of you, and they especially take advantage because you're low income.
Yeah, and they know I can't afford a lawyer. I hear what you guys always say about hiring a good lawyer if you can't afford it, or to mortgage my house. I don't have anything that I could.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. All I have is my kid. My kid was the only thing that gave me purpose in this life to continue on, to push myself to be better.
Well, what you need to do is you need to fight and get yourself a court-appointed attorney that will fight for you.
It's so stressful. I thank you, Bob. I needed to get those out there and ask them, because I was so confused on how they took my kid to begin with. I felt like it was done illegally. I felt like if I had a good lawyer that cared about my case and my kid and me, actually cared about our relationship, it would look deeper into understanding how did this even come about, because no one met with me. No one was talked to me to see my state of mind. No one came to my home to see that my home is an unfit place for my daughters to be raised. No one seen anything of me at all.
Well, have you gone to a supervisor? Have you gone to a supervisor of the CPS system there in Las Vegas?
I have tried to contact him, but when I did, he was out of office and he never contacted me back. So I contacted him again, and he emailed me telling me if I have any calls to give him a call. But then I got his voicemail. So then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I'm slowly surely, but not trying to give up on my kid, because I'm not going to give up on my kid while I'm here. But it's just this has been weighing me down and eating me up. So it's now that I just found you guys, I'm just now learning certain things that I should have took, or the steps I should have took months ago, that if I would have known the things I knew now.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that it's starting to become a little too late now that I know these things, because the judge is literally telling me she wants to terminate my rights on Monday. She terminated my baby daddy's on the other last Monday.
Well, you can appeal that. By the way, you can appeal that. Don't let them terminate your rights. You can appeal that. And what you need to do. Go ahead.
I already went down to the office and asked about an appeal, because I heard you say that before. So the appeal, do I need an attorney to help me with that? And also,
well, you do have to.
After my rights are terminated, right?
Yeah. Well, I just said, here's the thing is, open heart surgery is real critical. Can you imagine yourself cutting open your chest, taking your heart that's pumping, and try to work on it yourself? You can't. The same thing is true about CPS. You can't fight them yourself. They're too complex. They will buffalo you, they'll treat you bad, and they will make things happen that they should not have done. So what you have to do is you have to fight them.
Okay.
And you need to find, as I say, a real good attorney. Now, you don't have one, but you have a court-appointed one. Well, you need to tell that court-appointed one, if they do not perform, you will sue them and also report them to the state bar at the capital of Nevada. I forgot what the capital of Nevada is. What's the capital of Nevada?
Reno.
Okay. So at Reno is where you'd have to file a formal complaint. Now, they have a thing called the ombudsperson at the state level. You need to talk to them. You have to find the ombudsperson. And then you got to write him or call him and tell him your scenario. Tell him your situation.
Okay. I have to do something. I can't do it without my kid. And Bob, I thank you so much for taking your time out.
Well, don't give up. Don't give up. I'm here to try to do it. It is very hard for myself, day after day, twice a day, to come on here. And a lot of times I don't have people interacting with me. So I have a tendency to zone out. So I'm truly tell you, Having you on the phone talking helps me, helps others out there because it keeps everything flowing good. It's very difficult to talk there for an hour and no one responds, no one says anything.
Yeah, true. I mean, because like I said, I watch you a lot, so I enjoy like the guests that you've had on there, and honestly trying to take notes of everything that you and Attorney Vincent Davis says. I even watch all his shorts. Like, I've just been trying to like inform myself as best as possible to prepare for what could lie ahead. And I think a lot of myself has been getting discouraged and depressed a lot because I do suffer from major depression. So I feel like I get discouraged a lot, and I'll sit in my depression thinking that there's nothing I can do because no one will help me, and like I don't understand what what was the need to take my kid to begin with, and why she's still not with me when I don't ever cause my kid any type of harm, mentally, emotionally, physically, nothing. That's why she wants to be with me. Her therapist said it herself that she clearly loves her mom and wants to be with her mom. So then, what are we still talking about? What are we still arguing about? Like, my daughter's never been to the hospital for bruises, broken bones, or even being sexually assaulted.
Well, so they got to prove their case. Royal, they got to prove their case. They have attorneys. That's why you need an attorney. It's like a chess game. If you go to court, you're playing chess. And one maneuver, you have to prepare for the next maneuver. It's real critical. That's why you want, if all possible, to get that attorney. But if you got a court-appointed attorney, either get them replaced or put some fire underneath their pants. They need to actively fight for your case.
Right. And I was going to do a letter, maybe writing a letter to the judge to read in court if it sounds professional, or I had it proofread as well, like, and professionalism is all there in the letter, stating on my like relationship with my kid and what I want to do to like prove my like working towards being a better parent for my daughter. Or
well, they don't have all that. That's called a case plan. And most likely CPS is being vague because they want to keep your child in the system because they get $1 trillion business. Like with my kids,
right.
They were getting 3 kids. They were getting $60,000 a month from the state, who in turn got that from the federal. And the federal would send over hundreds of thousands of dollars, no question asked.
I knew that. I used to actually talk to Miss G. I haven't seen her on here anymore. But
yeah, she's great. I've talked to Mrs. G. I've talked to Mrs. G. She's really fantastic.
I like her, and she still keeps in touch with me a little bit. She kind of sends me like the books and stuff on what to do at my next trials and stuff. Little books that I think Mr. Vincent Davis wrote on how to survive or get your children back. But I mean, when I first talked to her on the phone, she let me know like I need to like stay with it, stay adamant on not giving up on getting my kids back. Because she said something about she's known her rights to be terminated. And she hired Vincent Davis, and he got her kid back, or something like that.
Well, I have a question for you, Real Money. How did your case begin? Do you remember the first day of your case?
Yes.
How did it begin?
I honestly just know that I called my mom. I asked her what time she wanted me to come get her. She told me that I cannot come get her because CPS just left her house and said my daughter must remain in her care. And she gave me the number to the CPS worker to call, because he said to call him if she got a hold of me. And so I called him, and he was like, "Well, you have court in the morning." He was like, "We'll discuss everything at court, and then after court, when will you be available to meet?"
They don't meet. See, that's the sad part. The public defenders only meet in court. They don't have enough time. They have 30 or more cases they're handling. And they will not meet with you privately or at their office or some other office. You got to meet them in the hallway. And it's a terrible thing. But I know that if you tell the court-appointed attorney that they must either perform or you will sue them. You will sue them for malpractice. For malpractice.
That's the point. I've asked everybody, like, what's the steps on removing your child? Like, do the caseworker have to talk to you? Does you have to, like, build any type of evidence on you to know that your kid is in danger? Or did they just go off anonymous callers?
They go off anonymous
They don't
callers.
my kid.
They go off anonymous callers. They also go after mandated reporters, which are your policemen, your firemen, your nurses, your doctors, your teachers.
Because I think, honestly, if anybody reported me, it would have been my mom. I think my mom honestly did it because all fingers point to it. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I already knew this. You know, like I told my daughter when I was pregnant with her that if she just give me the patience and know that mommy's trying, like, I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do everything I can to make things right and, like, make sure we're always going to be okay.
Right.
I told her that when I was just pregnant with her.
Right.
So, you know, like, those are my little conversations I had with her. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect parent, but I didn't know
parents will have hiccups.
There's
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a parent having hiccups because you can go and take parenting classes or programs to get the hiccups corrected. Because studies have shown the best parents for raising our kids are the biological parents.
Right. And my daughter displays that. She tells everybody that. She tells her therapist that. She says it all the time that she just wants to go home with me. Like, she cries at the end of the day, at the end of our visits, every time. It breaks me. And I just don't understand, like, I just don't get how we got here. Like, me drug testing for them, I feel like but messed me up because
they're keeping you in the dark and they keep you guessing, and that's what's so sad. Mm-hmm. They keep you in the dark and they keep you guessing.
And I was honest with my caseworker about it when I first got my case open. I was like, well, you took my kid from me. You took the only thing that kept me steady and kept me busy and focused on not relapsing or doing drugs. Like, I can't do drugs when she's around. I'm not interested in doing drugs when she's around because she's my only focus. You know what I mean? And then you took that from me, and now you put me in my depressed stage. You made me angry. You made me feel like I have nothing but time on my hand, and I'm sitting here going crazy over it because I don't know where my kid is, and I want my kid. And I relapsed. But I told the caseworker that, and I even went through the substance abuse classes, and I got my certificate. I haven't been failing my drug tests, and the drug tests that I have failed is only because I missed them because they told me to get a job.
Good.
And they're like, we gave you 24 hours to take your drug test, so there should be no excuse.
Now, are your drug tests?
I work now. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I also am a caretaker of my best friend. I just don't understand how you guys expect me to be on a bus going all the way to a drug test place that does close, and I go to work, and I'm a caretaker.
Well, you can go to your own drug testing. You can have your medical insurance provide you a drug testing. You don't have to use their drug testing. And
they always cut my hair. They always cut. It's so much, Bob. I'm just like, I just want my kid back, and I feel like I'm losing my daughter in so many different ways. It's sickening that I don't know what to do anymore. I just feel so lost. So what I'm going to do is what she told me to do. I wrote it all down. I'm going to go in there on Monday and try to find me some help with a court-appointed attorney, anybody that's willing to actually take me and my daughter serious.
Well, you need to go to that courtroom, and you need to find out where the court-appointed attorneys hang out at, their office. You go to that office, and you want to speak to a supervisor, because if you're not really following, they want you to be confused. They want you to be lost because they want the money. As long as your child's kept in custody, they get paid. It's free money. They use very little of the money.
Miss Greer said that too, and it just kind of messed me up every time I think about it. And it's like, then how can you guys ever act in any way that in the best interest of a child when you guys like solely know that? Like, this is destroying a country. Like, you guys are ripping mothers away from their children. Like, who gave you guys that right when there's no danger? That doesn't make sense to me because, like, my kid was never in danger with me. I love my daughter. She gave me purpose. I don't have any other purpose on this earth to me if it wasn't to take care of her.
Well, you are a good mother. You're a rare good mother. I'm glad you do take care, and you should not stop loving your children. Your children will be the main reason why you sit here and fight. Never give up. And what I have to do, Royal, from Las Vegas, is I need to close out my live stream. I'm going to take my phone number down. And I'm so glad you're able to get there. Hang on to that number. Don't lose it. Also, have you talked to Mr. Davis at all?
No, that's also what we were talking about a couple of live streams ago that I was trying to contact you about.
Okay, Royal, you've talked to me on this live stream, so you qualify for a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis, a Zoom meeting. All you need to do is text in at that number, the number you called. Let me put it back up again because I took it down probably too mature. Here, let me put it back. 626-698-0990. That text is me. You're going to do your full name, your phone number, and your email. And then I'll contact Grace, my show producer, and she'll put you on as a guest.
Okay.
No, I mean, not as a guest. I'm sorry. Hold on. You're not as a guest. She'll put you in touch with Vincent Davis to have a 15-minute consultation with him. 15-minute consultation.
Thank you so much, Bob.
And there's no charge for that.
Every time I text you, it says it's a landline. So, and to send a Y for yes, to send the message. Have you ever got any of my messages in?
No, I haven't. You're the first time you'll be able to contact. But what I want you to do is to text me, after you hang up here, text me your full name, your phone number, and your email. And then I will contact Grace, and she'll set up a time for a 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis, okay?
Okay, sounds great, Bob. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, I'll see you again. You keep at it. I'm so glad you are. Thank you very much. Now for all you listeners, that was Royal Money. She's been on my show for a long time. She's from Las Vegas, Nevada, and she has a terrible case. And so she's trying to get it fixed there. Now, we've only had Royal Money in tonight. I don't see anybody else's name here. So we only had one person tonight. So I want everybody to have a good night. Whatever you do, keep fighting for your kids. Don't give up. And I'll be on again tomorrow morning. That's Saturday at 8 o'clock. Sunday at 8 o'clock. Today is Saturday. I stand corrected. Today is Saturday. So tomorrow I'll be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So God bless you all. And this is Bob Pace signing off.